If we lose being able to go outside and fish and just enjoy the outdoors, I don't want that to happen. It's just not the same.
My name is Chris Clancy. I live in Hamilton, Montana. I was a fisheries biologist for about 40 years.
I'm David Brooks, the Executive Director of Montana Trout Unlimited.
My name's Alec Underwood. I work for the Montana Wildlife Federation, working to protect Montana's fish and wildlife for future generations.
Montana is blessed with a lot of wonderful rivers throughout the state. It's particularly famous for some of these trout streams that come out of the mountains in western Montana, and climate change is a direct threat to some of those values.
So working for Trout Unlimited, the thing that concerns me most about climate change are statistics like that by 2080, over 50% of cutthroat habitat in the West will disappear, and that's 50% of already greatly reduced trout habitat.
On years where there's a lot of snowpack coming into the summer, you can more or less expect to have decent flows late summer. On years of low snowpack, you can expect to have low flows late summer unless there's unusual precipitation events. So when you have that issue coupled with an earlier runoff where the water comes off earlier, that is the concern that late summer will have lower flows in the future where water is warmer and lower for longer periods of time. Climate change appears to be affecting that dynamic.
Not only do the fish lose, but people who are anglers lose, businesses that depend on that lose. And really there's a public health concern too, because the same water, clean, cold water that keeps trout healthy also provides humans with clean, cold water.
To think that next year is going to be my 20th year of fly fishing is pretty crazy. And what concerns me most as an angler is that with climate change, I might not make it to my 50th year of fly fishing for cold water species.
For elected officials, we don't have the time to deny the science any longer. If you care about these rivers and streams, if you care about the quality of life of your grandchildren, you've got to get on this issue, and you've got to get on it yesterday.
My name is Sean Blaine. I'm based in Bozeman, Montana, and I've been guiding for 18 years. We all are seeming to fight amongst ourselves for the moral high ground when it's sort of like having a fist fight in the middle of a burning building. We need to come together as a whole. It doesn't matter what sort of technique you use to catch fish, you still have to have fish to catch. And if climate change continues, your little faction won't matter squat. In 2016, 180 miles of the Yellowstone River was closed to all river recreation. And Livingston, in essence, became a ghost town overnight. That summer, we had record high temperatures and record low flows on the Yellowstone River. That, right there, that's why it's important to act right now. Because if climate change continues as it is, sites like that, you may not see them in the future. And that gets really right to the heart of it. That young man rowing that boat. I know it seems improbable right now, but if climate change continues at the rate that it's at, when he's an adult, he may not be able to do that on this river. And that's why it's important that we all act now.
My name is Tony Reinhart, Missoula, Montana. I've been guiding for 22 years. When I started guiding, August was one of our busiest months. Now it's definitely the slowest month of our season. Hotter summers have led to warmer water temperatures and a good chance of fishing restrictions in August. Through conservation and a bunch of other efforts, we have a world-class fishery out of Missoula right now, but I'm not sure what that's going to look like 30 years from now. With changes to the climate and warmer water and bigger fires and all these concerns associated with climate change, I don't know that our resources are going to keep getting better like they have in the past.
I'm Margo Nielsen. I'm 11 years old and I live in Great Falls, Montana.
Brian Nielsen, been guiding and outfitting for 25 years on the Missouri River in central Montana, making a living dependent on cold, clean water. My daughter turned 11 2 days ago, and last year when she was 10, she caught her first fish on a fly rod. And the more I see her enjoy fly fishing, the more I have concern for climate change. And losing these cold water fisheries will be devastating to my family and to the industries in the state of Montana.
I want to be able to enjoy these things for the rest of my life. And if climate change continues, I don't think I'll be able to do that.
If she can't enjoy this with her kids and take me down the river when I'm a dawdling old fool, it's just not acceptable. We have to make a change. It's just not okay. Something has to be done right now. As an outfitter, our entire industry relies on healthy fisheries. Climate change is directly affecting the health of our rivers.
As a young girl, I fished the Bitter River with my father, and I just loved to fly fish. And I was involved with a lot of guides back in the late 90s who were really talking me up to try to guide. And I just love being on the river and showing people the experience of the Bitterroot. And, you know, every day is an adventure, and it's a fun way to make a living in this valley. Jenny West. I was raised here in the Bitterroot Valley. I've been guiding for 17 years. The outdoor recreation industry for the state of Montana is huge. It's over $7 billion, and my livelihood depends on cold, clean water. Growing up here, we used to see, the river would just run off all of June, and we wouldn't be able to fish till after July 4th. And now we're seeing, fast, erratic runoffs in May and even end of April. We're seeing hatches of bugs change. We're seeing drought-like conditions earlier in the season, like middle of July, end of July, and our rivers get closed down for hoot owl. It's hard to try to make your clients happy when, the water temps are getting really warm. The river is the lifeblood of so many things, more than just trout. It's about the love of the river and being outdoors and the whole picture as well. And it's just so important to take care of these amazing places because this is the last best place.
The science is clear on what is happening out there. And to think that we are going to lose a huge percentage of suitable habitat for cold water species over the next few decades is scary. I think we're at a critical point for the world of fly fishing in the state of our fisheries. And it's a point where we need to come together to combat this issue. As anglers, we should be working every day that we can to give back to these resources that we love so much. And to think up until this point, the angling community as a whole and the industry has not taken collective action on the issue of climate change. It's embarrassing.
You know, if you fish in Montana or anywhere in the West or any cold waters and you think that pinching a barb or practicing catch and release is enough, it no longer is. You need to step up and act on climate change. These waters depend on it. These fish depend on it.
As they shimmer in the sun.
At the end of the day, when you get off the water, can you look yourself in the mirror and say that you did what you could to protect what you love, to protect what you claim that you love? If not, then you're doing it all wrong. What are you gonna do about it?
Now the days are getting longer again, like they have in years before. Oh, the heat is getting stronger, my friend. It's like the devil at my door. It's like the devil at my door. So let's take the heat down to the pond. Watch the fireflies prance in the dark. Everything feels better after midnight. Summer wine, no regrets. Shadows dance with their cigarettes. Everything feels better in the moonlight. In the moonlight. Every day I keep on breathing deep into my short lungs. Now the air is getting thick as thieves, stealing all of summer's fun, stealing all of summer's fun. All of summer's fun. How long can this drought last? I've seen it come and go before. Sometimes it's only the rain, keeping the devil off our doors. And God knows it's only